An epic battle is about to go down. A battle which will determine the very fate of Sarah. It's the Build Divers Force going up against the GBN Coalition. Hello my friends and welcome to another review of the Gundam Build Divers anime series. This review is going to be very quick, and that's really because I just don't have that much to say about this episode. It's a glorified setup for the next and probably final arc of Gundam Build Divers, which is going to be the Build Divers Force going up against the champ Kyoya Kujo's Coalition in a big competition to see who is going to get to Sarah first. Whoever wins is going to determine what her ultimate fate is going to be. The Build Divers team have a plan which is so ridiculous it could only work in an anime with a sci-fi setting. Basically, Koichi and Tsukasa have come up with this plan where they're going to transfer Sarah's consciousness, her data, into an actual living model. It's not too dissimilar as to what actually happened to the character of Yui in Sword Art Online, where they took an NPC character and brought them into the real world. They're not a real person by any stretch of the means, but at least they'll be able to salvage her mind or her very data itself. Most of this episode revolves around the Build Divers team sort of sulking and trying to come up with a plan of how to save Sarah. Koichi presents the plan to the team and lets them know that it has a very small chance of actually working. 5% in fact. They are able to increase that to 12, but the odds are not really looking all that good. The good thing is the Build Divers Force is not going to be alone. They're going to be joined by Maggie and Tiger Wolf, as well as the entire team of Chat Neo Noir. They're going to be going up against the GBN Coalition, which consists of the Champ, Rommel's team, and presumably a lot of other people, some of which they're not really trying that hard to hide. It's very obvious that Shariar, the guy who's in love with, well, love, is going to be a part of their group, and it makes perfect sense as he's going to have a big battle with Tiger Wolf in the next episode of the series. Finally, we're going to get to be able to see these two characters fight. It's been boiling over for the entire series, and honestly, I think I'm more excited for that than just about anything that I'm going to see from the finale of the show. What I really loved is how at the very end of the episode, when the Build Divers team actually decides to confront the champion, there is this scene that is so ridiculous, I have to highlight it. So, not since seeing Kakashi in the Naruto series remove his mask and reveal that there's just another mask underneath, have I seen a scene so ridiculous. The champion himself has always been wearing this long jacket, and in this episode he prepares for battle by ripping off said jacket, only to reveal that there's just another one underneath. This scene almost made me spit my drink out when I was watching it. I swear, I was drinking some bottled water while watching the scene, and it took everything in my power to turn away just so that I wouldn't accidentally squirt it all over my frigging monitor. It was hilarious, but I do love that there is a little bit of drama during all of this. You can tell that this is really eating away at the champion, as he genuinely wants to help out Sarah. There's even a scene earlier in the episode where Sarah says that she can just simply be erased as long as it means that they can preserve all of the smiles and the happy people in the GBN world. You can really tell that this starts to get to him quite a bit, and I did theorize a couple episodes ago that it was actually going to come down to Riku going up against the champion in this conflict that he never really wanted to happen. And I'm glad it's happening, but it seems like it's going to be on much better terms than I originally anticipated. There's still a little bit of bad blood and even a little bit of tenseness between these groups, but I wouldn't say it's outright good versus evil. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Gundam Build Divers? Essentially, this was just building up to the finale right here. There was a lot of just sitting around and talking and trying to decide, how are we going to save Sarah? Are we going to be able to save Sarah? What are we going to be able to do to save Sarah? That was basically the entire episode here, and setting up some of the big rivalries and battles that we're going to be getting in the next couple of episodes. It makes perfect sense that this is all going to end with a big gunpla competition. It gives us an excuse to not only see a lot of action, but to finally get to see a lot of really cool matchups. Like I mentioned earlier, Tiger Wolf versus Shariar. I really think that that one's going to be very exciting. I do love that Riku's spirits are up over the last couple episodes. He's been kind of a downer, and considering throughout most of the series, he's been a shining ray of happiness. It's good to see him sort of return and see the fire back in his belly. He now has true motivation outside of just being in a world that he loves. He has a friend to save. The overall plan of actually transferring her, though, to, like, a doll and everything, I still think is very strange, and if anything, these two kids should be getting, like, a freaking award for what they're doing. It's, like, groundbreaking science of what they're actually achieving, and no one seems to be recognizing that. Maybe this type of stuff is really common for this world. I don't know. Their plan is probably going to work, however, with them being able to get Sarah out of that world and preserving the entire GBN. I don't know, maybe there could be a couple more twists to see how this show is going to go, but for what it is, I am excited to see how it's all going to go down. As far as my thoughts on this episode, though, it was okay. Like I said, more of a springboard for the finale of the series, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that, but it really wasn't all that exciting. The main reason to check this episode out is to watch the champion rip off his coat only to reveal another coat underneath it. I don't even care that it's a different color. The scene is absolutely ridiculous, so I'm giving this episode right here a 3 out of 5. Just an average, fun episode of Gundam Build Divers, building up to the big finale of the series. Will it be awesome? Will it suck? Only time will tell. I'd love to get all of your thoughts on this episode, though. If any of you guys watch this episode of Gundam Build Divers, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below, what you hope to see from the finale, and what sort of cool matchups you get to see in the big battle between the Build Divers and the Coalition Force. Let's get a discussion going, guys. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down, baby.